Sudden macroeconomic shocks, whether they take the form of pandemics, border conflicts, or market crashes, can cause millions of stable roles to vanish overnight. Historically, specific sectors experience massive, desperate spikes in demand during these same periods of volatility. Events like the 1990 Gulf War, the 2020 global lockdowns, and World War II's industrial shifts forcefully reallocated the global labor market. Watching this happen creates a psychological trap. Consuming endless crisis news triggers a panic-driven instinct to abandon years of career equity in search of absolute safety. This chart tracks economic volatility over the last century. When volatility spikes, professionals face two paths. A hard pivot means dropping existing career capital to start over. A soft adaptation reallocates your existing skills into resilient industries. True crisis-proofing depends on calculating the mathematically sound ROI of your career capital before a shock hits. This matrix evaluates 8 historically proven crisis sectors based on 3 metrics: barrier to entry, crisis demand, and pivot feasibility. The first row holds Tier 1, the high-friction shields. These are medicine, defense, energy, and infrastructure. During a systemic shock, human health takes priority over all economic activity. The medical sector operates as the absolute first line of defense. At the same time, nations shift toward war economies. This requires immense physical labor forces and scaled manufacturing to support defense logistics. Once the immediate crisis passes, clearing debris and rebuilding shattered infrastructure drives national employment, often for decades. Powering all of this is the energy sector. Historical conflicts, like the 1990 Gulf War, are frequently tied to securing these physical resources. These jobs offer undisputed security, but carry a severe high-friction trade-off. Transitioning here requires 4 to 8 years of retraining, immense debt, and a complete career reset. For an established professional, this is often a poor investment. The massive sunk cost of time and tuition usually outweighs the probability of a localized crisis. The second row contains Tier 2, cybersecurity and logistics. These act as the digital and physical arteries of modern survival. Economic sabotage now takes place in the digital realm. Attackers target power grids, banks, and airports, making cybersecurity a mandatory national defense protocol. The physical equivalent is the global supply chain. When logistics networks fail, essential goods and raw materials vanish from shelves almost instantly. Moving critical supplies, like vaccines or replacement hardware, requires rapid, flawless operational logistics during an emergency. The return on investment here is asymmetric. Unlike medical training, these sectors often require only 6 to 12 months of focused, specialized certifications. This gives professionals significant leverage. You can adapt existing technical or management skills into a crisis essential framework without starting from zero. Finally, Tier 3. Agriculture and education. These are the low-barrier bedrock layers society relies on when standard systems fail. When international shipping routes halt, governments prioritize securing local food production to prevent widespread famine. Historically, ordinary citizens shift to local manual agriculture during wartime to sustain the population. The secondary shockwave of any major crisis is mass unemployment. This creates immediate demand for educators and trainers to rapidly re-skill a displaced workforce. The transition costs for Tier 3 are low because they rely on reallocating general capabilities like basic operations, teaching, and process management. While these roles lack massive tech boom salaries, they provide stability by embedding your current skills into the survival basics of your community. Industries survive crises, but individuals survive through adaptability. This chart maps economic resilience. The horizontal axis tracks income streams. The vertical tracks skill flexibility. The bottom left is the danger zone. A single income and rigid job leaves you exposed. The target is the top right. Multiple incomes powered by adaptable meta skills. If you are starting from zero today, aim for Tier 1 or Tier 2 sectors. The heavy initial effort builds a lifelong foundation of high-demand equity. For established professionals, a meta-skill pivot is often the smarter move than quitting a job in a panic. Dedicating marginal time each week to learning adjacent, crisis-proof skills, like network security or supply chain software, helps you build a secondary income stream. Long-term economic safety lies in building a resilient, adaptable portfolio of skills that no crisis can erase.